Hello lovely people, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are all well. We're back with another review. If you saw my last video, you know what it's a review for. If you didn't, go and check that out. But we are going to talk all things the Addams Family UK tour, currently running until the end of summer. This is usually where I show you a programme, but we'll get into that in 2 seconds. But if you want to know my thoughts, my feelings and everything in between on the show, stick around and we'll get into it in 2 whole seconds. So yeah, we are back with another review. Review is always in inverted commas. Do you want to know why? Well, here's the spiel. Normally for a show, as long as time permits, I like to do 2 separate videos on said show. Firstly, the one we had last, which was the nervous guide to said show. The nervous guide is basically everything you need to know before you go in. So things like content warnings, sensory warnings, my view from my seat, anything you need to know about the theatre. If it's theatre I haven't been to a lot. It's 9 times out of 10. We like short toilets. Don't know why, don't know how we got into this, but it happens. But yeah, the all-encompassing is everything you need to know before you go into the show. And then the second video is this one. This is the review. The review is always in inverted commas because at the end of the day I am just a person who likes watching theatre shows and then coming onto the internet and rambling about them for a good 15 minutes. Usually it's what I liked, what I didn't like, cast I want to shout out, creatives I want to shout out. 9 times out of 10 I try and keep them relatively positive because I would like to be that person. But here we go, let's talk about it. Firstly, as I just mentioned, I don't have a programme to show you for this because I went to the merch stand. I was like, right, I'm ready, I'm going to order a programme, maybe pin if they got them. They're my 2 vices in the merch world. And I got to the front of the queue and I was like, hi, I see you have a lapel badge, can I have one of those? And before I got out the second and do you have a programme question, I was shot down very politely, but I was shot down and I think she basically had got fed up of saying this at this point, but she's like, we are not selling you a programme, we don't have them. I think the way she was trying to say was that the production is not doing programmes, which I am shocked at because everybody loves a programme, even people who just buy them and then just like, I don't know what to do with them. I mean, I'm one of those people. But yeah, there was no programmes, at least at the Hippodrome. I have friends who go to other places that this show is on, and I'm hoping to find out if they also do not have programmes or if it was just an us thing, because I watched it at the Hippodrome and it was literally at the Hippodrome for a few days, so maybe that is the case, but I don't know. But long story short, no programme, makes me sad. But I have told my friends in Leicester who currently have it that if they do a programme there, they need to send one my way. Anyway, enough of me in programmes. The Addams Family Musical. I am the fan. I am quite the fan of this show. This is in fact the 4th time I had seen it. I've seen 3 previous tours, one with Carrie Hope Fletcher, one with Kingsley Morton, I want to say her name was, but I'm probably getting that wrong, and if I did, truly apologise and I will write it down below. And then thirdly, this tour, and then I also watched the staged production that they did, I want to say last year at, I want to say the Palladium. That was 2 things. I'm like, I have no idea where it was or what I watched. But that was a good stage concert. Although it was like, it was a light show. But safe to say that me stepping into this auditorium and seeing the show was like being back home. I know this show. The set was pretty much the same as previous tours. The costumes, bar one, I want to say, was almost identical. Similar ancestors. Everything just felt safe. It felt like home to me. I knew what was coming. As soon as the overture started, I was like, right, I'm in. I could probably tell you what's coming next. And there's me just like shuffling my shoulders. I was like, yes, love it. This show has a book by Marshall Brickman and Rick Elise, and the music and lyrics are by Andrew Lipper. I love this show. The music in it is just beautiful. It's full of songs like Pulled and Death is Just Around the Corner and Happy Sad, and just there are so many great songs, brilliantly written songs in this show, and it's definitely one that I really enjoy listening to. Full disclosure as well, he loves the moon, love it. So I knew what was coming. If you've never seen the Addams Family Musical, basically it is staged and slash set a few years down the line from any other iteration you've ever seen, so that Wednesday is now in her hopefully late teens. I don't know if they ever discuss how old they are, but she has fallen in love with a boy, a human boy, and is wanting to get married to him. And the Addams family are meeting up with the boy's family for the first time in the house, and chaos ensues. It's great. It's also a show that you don't really need to think about, and at this time in my work life, my work schedule, that was the kind of show I needed, and yeah, I absolutely love it. The design for this show, I think, like I said, is very similar to previous iterations, previous tours. It was designed by Diego Pitarch, and I probably say this wrong every time I've said it previously, but they are the person behind the costumes and the set. I did mention before that it felt quite similar. Pretty much every costume is very similar to previous iterations, apart from, and this was the same on the last tour that we had, Wednesday in each 3 tours I've seen has worn a slightly different costume. Everybody else has been pretty much similar. Grandma's pretty much always the same. Same with Lurch, even down to Morticia and Gomez. But every single time I've seen this show, there has always been a different costume for Wednesday. I quite enjoy that. I like the difference. And it was the same this time round. This production has been directed by Matthew White, and the choreography for the show is Alistair David's work. Again, I feel like these are quite similar to previous tour iterations. If I had the time and effort in me, I don't, because I am 1 week away from finishing for a few weeks. I would go back and see who's directed previously and if it's a similar director, but everything for the most part felt quite similar. Like I said previously, with the set, with the costume, there are very much similarities between each tour I've seen, which is not a bad thing. I feel like I should probably put that out there, because I've said a few times it felt quite samey, but at the same time, if it's not broke, don't fix it. No, if it's... What is that saying? Is it don't broke, don't fix it?
If it isn't broken.
Yeah, if it's not broken, don't fix it. Wow, I truly doubted myself then. Anyway, let's move on to the cast. The cast in this has some familiar faces that have been on previous tours and some new faces. So the 2 families, like I said, are the Addams family and the Beinecke family. For this production, the Addams family consists of Morticia, who is played by the wonderful Alexandra Burke. I've never seen her perform in a musical before. I know she's doing a few more musicals but it was really nice to see her do Morticia. She did it brilliantly, although in the back of my head every time she started singing I thought she was going to start singing one of her pop songs. How old do I sound saying that? So I was kind of waiting for her to go, oh, here I go. And like, if you ever had time, look at the back catalogue of Alexandra Burke. Moving on. You had Gomez, who was Ricardo Afonso, a brilliant voice, great acting, and the fact that he continued to try and get through Happy Sad in Act 2 when we had our little showstop moment was an attest to how good an actor he was. Unfortunately we did have to stop, but we're not going to talk about that showstop anymore. It was very professionally dealt with. Well done. Grandma is played by Leslie Joseph, who isn't on stage too much, but when she's on the stage she is Leslie Joseph, with brilliant comic timing. Fester in this production is played by Clive Rowe, who is a different Fester from previous iterations, and I don't think I've actually seen Clive Rowe perform in person before. I did quite enjoy his Fester, so I am glad that I saw him in the role. Pugsley is a return for Nicholas McLean. He was Pugsley on the last tour, and he also did the stage concert version of Pugsley 2, so I knew he was going to be top notch. And finally, rounding out the Addams, you had playing Wednesday Lauren Jones. Now I didn't really know Lauren previous to going in, and the only time I'd heard her sing previously to going in was a little clip, if you will, that the Addams Family socials put out with a kind of, this is our Wednesday, come and see her, and I can't remember what song they picked, but they shouldn't have because it wasn't, I don't know, there was just something about the way that it set it up. I was like, I'm apprehensive. But for me and this show, when it gets to Wednesday's big moment in Act 1, which is Pulled, if you can belt your way through Pulled, you are in with me, and she did a fantastic job on that song and continuously throughout the show. Really enjoyed Lauren's performance as Wednesday. Yay. The other family involved are the Beinekeys. There is 3 of them, the mum, the dad and Lucas, the boy. So again, like with Nicholas, the mum and the dad, otherwise known as Alice and Mal, are previous alumni, if you will, of the Addams Family, and that I've seen them previously in tours. So Alice is played by Cara Lane, whose pipes are incredible. Full disclosure, at the end of Full Disclosure Part 1, Alice has a moment, and every time I hear it sung in the flesh, I feel like Cara's going to blow the roof off, and this was no exception. Mal, who is the dad, is played by Dale Rapley. Again, I feel like he was in the last tour I saw. Could be wrong, but I definitely seen him in the role of Mal before, so I knew what I was getting, and he did an excellent job. And then thirdly, like I said, Lucas, who is the boyfriend, soon to be a fiance, if you will, of Wednesday in this production, is being played by Jacob Fowler. So I only really know Jacob previously as JD, and so in the back of my head when he was singing, all I was getting was JD vibes, although I feel like JD would work really well with Wednesday. Collab? I don't know. Jacob did a great job, and yeah, I have no negative things to say about anyone in this cast. Speaking of no negatives, the ancestors, always some of my favourite people in this show. The ancestors are the ensemble. Each of them have their own ancestor character, so there's usually a Viking, a matador, circus man, what is that word, ring leader, no, ringmaster, yeah, the queen, the missing people. There is a good collection, and I always love their work, and I feel like if I watch this show long enough I will learn the choreography and be part of the ancestors one day, my friends. The ancestors are a wonderful group, and their names are Jack Allen Anderson, Abigail Brody, Eamon Cox, J.R. Ballantyne, Maria Garnett, Chloe Gentles and Sario Solomon. Hopefully I have not pronounced anyone's name incorrectly. Also, when you go through the website, which is the only way I could find out anybody's names, just getting it out there again, no programs, makes me sad. I was looking at who was covering what role, and the glorious Chloe is down as cover Pugsley. I want to be in that room when that happens. I want to see Chloe be Pugsley. It would just be a really interesting watch, and yeah, I just want to see it. I don't enjoy people who bootleg things and record things, but if it ever happens on this entire tour, please can someone get some kind of audio of Chloe as Pugsley, please. Moving on, I feel like there's one person that I have not mentioned, and that is the person who plays Lurch. That's Dickon Goff. He has been my Lurch since I discovered this show in who knows what year, because since COVID I have no concept of time, and I feel like for me personally, I can see nobody as Lurch apart from Dickon. I'm sorry. The mannerisms, everything about it, the fact that voice comes out of him at the end of this show, just everything, even down to the bum wiggle at the end of the bells. If you've never seen the show, you're like, what's she talking about? But every time that I've seen this show through the years, Lurch is pretty much the last person to go off, when they've all like bowed and waved and they're all leaving the stage, and Dickon has become this little thing that, or he has begun to do this thing where as he walks off, he's like dancing off, and then he lifts up the back of his jacket and does a little bum wiggle and walks off. I love it. I just Dickon Goff for me is basically Lurch, and yeah. Some people were there to support different people. Some people were there for Alexander Burke. I was there for Dickon Goff, okay? So that is that. I feel like sung the praises of this show enough that you should go and check it out before it finishes its tour. So this is the oddest tour in a way, because it finishes on the 30th of October in Blackpool. Previous to Blackpool there is Canterbury, Salford, and it is currently in Leicester. It is in Leicester for almost a month. Explain that. Why Leicester has got it for so long and Birmingham got it for 3-ish days. Crazy. But if you do have a chance to get anywhere near any of the aforementioned venues, please go and check this show out, because it is so good, and yeah, you will not be disappointed, I hope. Anyway, I'm going to leave this video here because I literally have 5 minutes left on a timer and then my tea is cooked. So I'm going to cut this video here and say thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you come back for more theatre based content next time. We have another nervous guide and review to get through before the end of the month, hopefully, as long as I have chance to film and edit everything, which is a big if, but keep our fingers crossed, everybody. But yes, I'm going to leave this video here, so thank you very much for watching. I hope you come back, and I hope to see you next time. Have you seen this show before? Have you seen this tour? Let me know your thoughts, your feelings and everything in the comments below. But I'm going to finish this video as I always do, which is to say so long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen and goodbye. Bye everyone.